clean my room, and I call them the day before. And again, some may call this blatant lying. I call it fake until you make it. I said, guys, just so you know, my offices uptown are there was a flood, so I just moved all my editing stuff to my apartment. So I'm editing out of there today. So if you just meet me at my apartment, it might be a little weird, but it'll be fine. Just come on by. And they're like, oh yeah, that's great, sure, whatever. And I was like, okay, what else can I do to like be more professional and seem more professional so that MTV will give me like millions of dollars to make a TV show? So so I called my buddy, and I'm like, hey, Troy, what are you doing? What are you doing tomorrow? And he's like, nothing. And I was like, yeah, I know, that's why I called you. And I was like, hey, listen, would you mind if I gave you $20? Would you like come over and just dress in a suit and pretend to be my intern? And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I'm trying to act professional tomorrow, and it's this whole long story. The president of MTV is coming to my apartment. It's all whatever. Just come over and we'll talk about it. He's like, $20, I'll take it. So he came over, and sure enough, cut to the next day. It's me, senior executive producer, and senior vice president or something of MTV. We're all sitting in my apartment. I made my bed, and sure enough, the door knocks, and I'm like, come in. And Troy opens up, and he has a suit on, and he goes, oh, hi, I was just wondering, does anyone want any coffee or water, or can I get you guys anything at all? And I'm like, oh, this is good. Just like, but praying inside, like, I really hope that they don't like ask for anything, because God knows I have nothing in my fridge. And they were like, no. They were kind of shocked by the whole thing. They were like, no, we're fine. We don't need anything. He's like, okay, great, just checking in. Let me know if you need anything. And the executive producer looked over at me, and he's kind of a serious guy. He looks over at me and he goes, Jenks, look, you have an intern? And I looked over at him and I go, of course I have an intern. Make it till you make it. And so, I'm not gonna. Of course, by no means got me the gig at MTV, but it just goes to show that sort of thing always helps. Do you guys want one more story, or should we start with a Q&A, or stories? Stories are dangerous. That's the problem, because everyone's filming, and some of them are not legal stories, and one thing leads to another, and I end up getting carried away, and then, all right, well, here we go. So I was in Japan, and the Japanese media are not given as much access as anyone else, like very restricted access to baseball games. And I have this one friend, and he's one of my best friends, and the reason he's great at what he does is because he films everything. And you could literally be looking at him. You could be a police officer looking at him saying, turn the camera off, and he'll be like, no problem. And that's why he's great at what he does, and we get in trouble for it a lot of times, but he kept saying when we were in Japan that he wanted to get on top of the stadium. There was a baseball stadium, and he had this perfect shot during a game that he wanted to get on top of the stadium. And I was like, dude, I can't, I can ask Bobby, but I don't think I can get you to the top of the stadium. And he goes, no, but we have to, again, he was like, no, but we have to do it. And that's why I think we get along so well, because he doesn't take no for an answer. So I was like, no, we can't film from the top of the stadium, dude. And he was like, no, we can though. I was like, all right. So I asked around, no. A whole year went by. No. Then finally it was game 2 of the second round of the playoffs. And it was potentially the last home game that this baseball team was going to be playing of the year. And Jonah, my friend, came up to me and he said, dude, I got to get the shot at the top of the stadium. And at this point, we'd been in Japan for 7 months, so we knew the landscape of the stadium, we knew how to get up to the top of the stadium, and everything. So we go to the top of the stadium, and we're filming from the top, he's getting his shot, he's really happy. And then he goes, you know what, this isn't centered. I need to go to the top of the scoreboard. And the scoreboard is like on top of the stadium, so it's just like this huge 20,000 seat stadium, and then like on top of all of it is the scoreboard. He's like, I need to get on top of the scoreboard. was like, yeah, but there's a ladder. You have to go up the ladder. We're like, I don't know how many feet in the air. Like, you would die. He goes, yeah, no, it's worth it. I got to do this. I was like, all right, here we go. And so I said, all right, you go and do it, and I'm going to go back down where the media is and act like we're just doing our normal thing and like just so that people don't pay attention to us. So I'll kind of just distract everyone from the fact that you're going to be filming on top of the scoreboard. He was like, all right, cool. So I'm sitting there by myself, and I'm with the 50 members of the Japanese media, and I'm just sitting there watching the game in the press room, and all of a sudden I hear everyone like, what's going on? I'm looking around, and I'm like, what are they? And like all of them are surrounding the television, and they're looking at the television, they're pointing, and they're going, various Japanese that I've since forgotten. And they were like, I went over to this one guy who spoke Japanese and English, and I said, what's going on? And he goes, oh my God, Jenks, you wouldn't believe it. And I said, what is it? He goes, there's a sniper on the top of the scoreboard. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, look on national TV. And I look, national TV, my friend Jonah, there's a close-up of him, and there's like letters going on the bottom, like, who is this? Like, national security threat. And I'm like, I am so, you know what I mean? And they, and they're all like, there's danger, should we evacuate the stadium? And I'm like, holy cow. And this is in the middle of a baseball game, a playoff game, and it's 20,000 people are there. So I knew Bobby was going to rip me a new one. And I quickly walked towards the dugout because I knew he was going to walk out and start yelling at me. And he walked out, and Bobby had known us well at this point. And in a way, I admired our ambition and our relentlessness and our willingness to just keep going. And even if he said no, we didn't care. And he walked out of the dugout and just had like the meanest look. I thought he was going to punch me in the face. And he came right up to me, and he goes, they're saying it's a motherfucking sniper. And I'm like, yeah. I'm just, I feel like we're going to be like, kicked out of the country the next day. I'm like, yeah. I heard that too. And he's like, it's Jonah, isn't it? It's a fucking shot, isn't it? You guys want that goddamn shot that you asked for 8 months ago, right? I was like, he's like, you fucking morons. Can't believe I agreed to this. And we did not end up using that shot either in the movie. It was a good shot, too. We just didn't have time. Let me just think if there's one other story. I think it's probably about time. I've been talking for 45 minutes. My God. Good for you guys. Before we start the Q&A, I think we should do a Q&A. Who here has seen the Chad episode? Chad, with the young man who had autism. Okay. Do you guys, maybe we'll do it after then. I was going to say we should all sing Chad and Jenks are going to New York. And so does Chad. Should we do that? All right, let's do it real quick.